A mystery haunts the grounds of this now defunct reform school for boys in the Florida panhandle town of Marianna, involving teenage boys sent here decades ago, some never seen again. In recent years, former students now in their twilight years have come forward with horrific stories of punishing abuse doled out by school leaders and of friends who vanished, stories told by CNN. They accused former school leaders of beatings, sexual abuse, and even murder. Which brings us to this cemetery on the school grounds. The bodies of 31 boys are buried here. Florida authorities claim they know how all the boys died, some killed in a fire, others in a flu epidemic, nothing criminal. But new research shows other bodies could be buried in this area too. And dozens of former students and families say that's proof of a more sinister story hidden in these woods. Back in the early 1960s, the leaders of the Boys Reform School had a local Boy Scout troop come in here and clean up the cemetery. They put up these 31 crosses. But now a team of anthropologists over the last year has been going through all of this area, cleared out all of the woods around here, and they're finding the possibility of many more grave shafts, which is only leading to the mystery of what happened here in Marianna. Untangling the story may be lost to time. The school closed last year. These events happened from the 1940s to 1960s. Most of the school leaders from then have died. But a research project led by University of South Florida anthropologist Aaron Kimmerly turned up evidence of additional grave sites during months of searching the school grounds. Kimmerly says as many as 18 more bodies could be buried here, and that the research team believes a second cemetery could be hidden on the school grounds.
We've got something right there.
We've found burials within the current marked cemetery, and then we've found burials that extend beyond that.
Kimmerly has traveled the world investigating war crimes for the United Nations, searching for mass graves in places like Yugoslavia and Peru. Have you done just this area, or has all
of it?
Her team used high-tech equipment to scan into the ground. All the red you see suggests the location of possible grave sites, but we won't know for sure unless exhumations are ordered. Florida state officials won't comment until they can review Kimmerly's findings.
These are children who came here and died for one reason or another, and quite literally have just been lost in the woods. And it's about restoring dignity and helping, if not putting a name to them, at least marking them and acknowledging that they're here.
The anthropologists also studied historic documents and public records and discovered a disturbing discrepancy: boys unaccounted for.
This was long about the last pictures we had of him.
Ovell Krell's brother was sent here in 1940. She says Owen Smith dreamed of playing guitar at the Grand Ole Opry in Nashville. The 14-year-old had a musician's vagabond soul. He was shipped to reform school for stealing a car. Ovell never saw him again. Her family was told Owen had run away. She still has a letter sent by the school superintendent more than 70 years ago.
We have been unable to get any information concerning his whereabouts. We will appreciate your notifying us immediately if you receive any word from or concerning him.
But Ovell Smith believes her brother was already dead. A few weeks later, his family was told his decomposed body was found under a house near the school.
They think he crawled under there to try to keep warm, and that he got pneumonia and died. And that was their official cause of death, was death from pneumonia and exposure.
But was that based on anything scientific or any kind of autopsy?
Ovell says another student told them a far different story.
But he looked back, and my brother was running out across a field, an open field, and there was 3 men shooting at him with rifles. I believe till this day that they shot my brother that night, and I think they probably killed him, and they brought him back to the school and buried him.
Against the family's wishes, Owen Smith was buried on the school grounds. She's never figured out exactly where. No one was ever charged in his death back in 1941. But because of that case, along with other accounts of alleged abuse, beatings, and killings, the Florida State Law Enforcement Agency launched an investigation in 2008. Its report concluded there was no evidence to suggest that any of the deceased died as a result of criminal conduct. The agency also said it couldn't find evidence to prove claims of physical or sexual abuse at the school. But many former students like Robert Straley say that report is a whitewash cover-up. State officials say they stand by the report's findings.
I'm mad at the state, yes. I'm angry at the state because they let this go on for 68 years and did nothing about it.
Straley says he was beaten with a leather strap and that some school leaders killed young boys and made them disappear.
It is important to find all the boys that were buried there. I mean, they're practically crawling out of their graves, crying out, "Help, remember me," you know.
To Robert Straley and others, the Florida Reform School for Boys is still hiding an evil, untold past. Ed Lavendera, CNN, Marianna, Florida.